Hi, this is Holly from HSHOMEMADE, www.hshomemade.com. This is the third video in a series of 3 for scrapbooking tools that I use all the time. Got a note on my blog to kind of go through some of the things that are good for a starting out scrapbooker. And, you know, I'd rather do a video and let people know what I use so that maybe that's where they would start instead of making all the mistakes I made, you know, along the years and buying the things that, you know, just weren't as good as I wanted them to be. So, the first one was about adhesives. Second video was about tools like the crocodile, the corn chomper, paper trimmer, those kind of things. And this one is going to be about ink pads and stamps. So, here we go. These are the 3 stamp pads that I use most often. For every normal day, colors and such, I have a rainbow over here of colors, and this is what I use the most. This is the classic Stampin' Pad, and I really love these. They are about $5.95 a piece, and I know that sounds like a lot for an ink pad, but they sell refills for $2.95, I believe, and so you can re-ink them for a long time. The stamp refills last you a long time, so that is an option for colored stamp pads to use all the time. Now these are water soluble, so I'm going to show you one over here that I use when I do like watercolors and such in just a minute. Okay, so for every day I use Stampin' Up! Pads for stamping my stamps. Okay, okay, well, let's do this one first. If you're going to do any kind of embossing with embossing powder or anything like that, you want to have a Versamark pad. It stamps clear. It's almost like a wet look. And I also have the Versamark pen, and so I can kind of draw in places that I want to be have Versamark as well, just small little areas. That comes in handy sometimes. And you can also buy a refill for this pad. And I really like having the Versamark because it gives you a lot of options with embossing. So if you're going to do any kind of embossing, you want to get a Versamark pad. You can get this at Hobby Lobby. I know you can get it through Stampin' Up. I'm sure Michael's enjoying sell it as well. Now the Versamark pen, actually, I think I bought this online. I couldn't find it anywhere. Stampin' Up! Used to sell it a long time ago, I think. And when I went to order it from the girl who I order from, she said that they were not selling it anymore. But I bought this online for about $5, I think. Okay, the Stays On ink is a ink pad that will not bleed. I use a let's see, what is this called? A blender pen sometimes, and it's just kind of, it's wet. It's already pre-wet, and you can actually buy a water pen as well that you actually put water in. I like this pen. I've really liked it since I've had it. I've actually bought a couple of these. And this is a blender pen, and what I do with it is I take, let's see, let me see if I can show you this. See, you can tell where I've mashed this pad. I did this on purpose. And so you can take this watercolor pen and pick up that ink, and then you can, let me get my scratch piece of paper, and you can color with it, okay, until it runs out, and it will run out eventually. I know it still looks like there's brown at the tip there, but once you kind of color it out, it will be gone. Okay? And then it won't matter what color you put it into. So you can kind of do a little bit of watercoloring effect anyway. It's not true watercoloring, I guess, with this blender pen, but with a water pen it does the same thing. But anyway, this Stays On ink will not fade. I put this on ribbon on the back of my kids' clothes that I make, and I put the size on there so it will not fade from that. And here's an example. I stamped this image here with the Stays On ink and then used the blender pen. Now with a regular with a Stampin' Up! Pad, this would have bled. Okay, the stamp itself would have bled. Now with the Stays On, since it doesn't bleed, all these colors did not bleed, you know, off the brown stamp itself. So I added the brown, the green, the red, and the yellow. So there's an option for the Stays On ink. Okay, so there's the 3 types of ink that I use the most. I'm going to cover stamps real quick You know, stamps are a kind of thing that, you know, if I find a cute stamp that I like, I buy it. And I work around it. This is a whole nother video, topic, but I keep my stamps in these jewel cases. If you go to mypinkstamper.com, one of her first videos ever, she did a tutorial on how she moved all of her stamps from being on wood blocks into basically a clear stamp, if you will, that you can use on these clear blocks. Okay, and she, I can't remember if she keeps them in this or in this jewel case or something else. But anyway, these jewel cases, they stick right down on these. Okay, so what I had done, I needed a small area to keep a lot of stamps. So this was the best option for me. And you know, everybody's different, so you have to do what you have room for. But if I buy a wood stamp, you can tell that this one has been, you peel it off of the wood stamp, you buy this easy mount foam, and I had to buy it in bulk, which is fine because now I have a lot of it, but you have to buy it in bulk, I believe. And you put it on the back of this, and you cut around it, obviously, and then it sticks right onto your clear mount stamp pads. And you just peel it off, you put it back in your jewel case, and you have a lot of stamps stored very neatly and in a very small space. Now, if it were up to me, all stamps would be like this. These very, very clear, I can't remember the name of these, stamps. But anyway, I really love these kind of stamps. Now, I will say that Stampin' Up! Has stamps, you know, all the time that I can't resist. And so I buy them, and I buy the clear kind. Now, these are not really true clear stamps, but they do store that way, and you don't have to worry about taking them off the wooden block and all that. So you don't have to worry about all that. So that's what I do with my stamps. And you know, as stamps go, they all stamp pretty well if you get a good brand. And you know, they're so versatile that, you know, you could use them for anything. You use them for cards, scrapbook pages, paper crafting, anything. So little tags, you know, there's so many things you can do with stamps. So there's I hope you've enjoyed these 3 videos of the things that I use the most, and I hope you've learned a few things so maybe you won't make the same mistakes and spend the money that I did on certain things that didn't work as well. So anyway, but I hope this has helped you guys a lot, and I hope you guys have a great day and have enjoyed the videos. Thanks.